You're not mistaken. That's two cats humping, and this is my review of Watamote, episode 6. Them hormones were raging in this episode. Only anime could make two cats having sex on screen this epically hilarious. So if I were to put like a small title or moniker for this episode, it would probably be The Quest to Get Laid! So after a long night of dating sim games, Tomoko wakes up to find that she's actually a lot cuter than usual, and she has a little bit more confidence about herself. She even takes the TV's advice to wear something black or even have something black, so she decides to get a Coca-Cola Zero and then opens it, and it seems like she's going to have a great day, and then it explodes in her face. So throughout the rest of the day, Tomoko decides she's going to be super confident, and that doesn't last long when she finally gets to free period of gym, and instead of deciding to socialize with some of her fellow classmates, she decides to go over and play with some ants. I'm not even joking, this is just a really weird and creepy scene, and it gets even worse because some of those ants make her way into her pants. Do you see where this episode is going? Throughout the rest of the day, there are many awkward moments where you get to see her classmates are noticing that Tomoko has ants on her body, and the hilarity ensues. But it really picks up when she's making her way home from school, and she stops at this mini-mart, and she finds this magazine, which I'm assuming is maybe some sort of self-help magazine for girls or women. And holy crap, this is great. Essentially, the article she's reading is all about sex, and she immediately starts to blush up and freak out because she doesn't want anybody to see her reading this, and the build-up to it is absolutely hilarious. But it's when she finally starts to look up from the magazine and look out the window, and she sees these two hilarious cartoony anime cats just humping like crazy, and that one big cat on top is having a good time. So Tomoko's plan here is pretty weird. Essentially, she thinks if she's going to continue to play this dating sim game, it will have an effect on her physically. We as the viewer know this is definitely not the case, but after an awkward train scene, we get another scene where she gets another Coca-Cola Zero, and then she shakes it up, opens it, and it explodes in her face. You make the comparison. So the first half of the episode was more about the laughs, the second half of the episode is more about the awkwardness, and a little bit of heartwarming stuff at the end. What's interesting is the fireworks festival is about to happen, and it's almost time for the semester break. And if there's anything that anime slice of life shows have taught us, if you're a high school student, you must go to the fireworks festival. And Tomoko is no exception, except that she wants to go with someone. She wants to be noticed by everybody. And she can't go with her friend Yu because she has a boyfriend, so she has to come up with this really elaborate plan in order to get someone to go with. And it's the day of the festival, so she better get her shit in gear. So the scene occurs where she goes to the library, and she notices that there's two people in there. And since it's the day of the festival, they probably don't have anything going on. So she has two choices. There's this one guy, and there's a girl. And oddly enough, she immediately goes to the girl first. What I love about the scene is that she's spying on this girl, and she imagines how this would happen if she asked her through the use of these like manga scenes, and it literally looks very legitimate, it looks awesome, and it's hilarious. The scene itself is immediately interrupted, but I'll let you guys see for yourself. And she even tries to ask this one guy through this very sad way. Essentially, she takes her cell phone out and she sets her alarm, so it seems that in a couple of minutes she's going to get a phone call. And she picks up the phone and she tries to fake like she's talking to her fake boyfriend, George Glass. Let's call him George Glass. I don't think you guys get that reference. So she breaks up with her fake boyfriend over the phone and basically starts yelling out loud, "Oh, who's gonna take me to the fireworks festival?" And then she goes back in hoping this guy is gonna ask her, and to no avail, he does not ask. So the end of the episode ends in typical fashion with Tomoko walking home, beaten, destroyed, and sad. And she actually goes to this weird abandoned building, which apparently was like sort of her like spot to go to when she watched the sunset. And the scene here is actually quite nice. It's animated really, really well. And we even learned that her and Yu used to go there all the time, dressed in black for some reason. Maybe this is some sort of anime reference I don't quite capture, but whatever, it's pretty funny. As she's on the roof, though, she notices that things are a little bit different, and right next to the place is actually this big sex hotel. And that's going to come into play in just a couple of seconds. While she's up at the top, these two middle school students suddenly appear, and she starts to get really freaked out, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is no longer my place." And she feels that she has to leave. But this is actually a step in the right direction for Tomoko because she finally starts to talk to people. She essentially just tells them, "Hey, can I just stay and watch the fireworks?" And the two boys are like, okay, whatever, not a big deal. And what I love about this scene is it's immediately heartwarming because she has this sudden realization that she didn't want to just go to the fireworks festival with a boyfriend. She just wanted to go with someone just to have a good time. Before things can get all gushy and everything, they immediately cut to a scene where they're not actually watching the fireworks. The two boys in Tomoko are actually watching these two people have sex in the sex hotel right next door. And it's hilarious because Tomoko doesn't want to hold it in, but she eventually starts to really enjoy watching it. It's very funny. And then immediately there are fireworks that start to explode out of the sky. And you can see they start to pan upwards. And then the episode actually immediately ends with this really great fireworks display as the credits roll. And if you're a fan of Hatsune Miku, who is the Vocaloid idol, you're going to love the ending song here. It definitely fits well with what's going on with all the fireworks. So this was a really good episode again. One of the best comedies that I've seen so far. One thing I just want to talk about that I've never actually brought up with Watamote before is the animation. The animation this week was actually quite nice. That's not to say there weren't moments when, in a lot of other animes, there's people who are just standing in the background not doing anything. But I think it's really the colors in this series that I really, really like. And just everything just really pops out really great. And there's a lot of different uses of color. Like I said, they can go really crazy and unrealistic, but then at the end when she's standing on top of the building looking at the sunset, I really like those type of things. That's the type of stuff that I really, really appreciate in anime, when they put work into those little small things. It makes everything else seem all the more better. But really, it's all about cats humping this week, which, God, guys, I cannot tell you how much I loved that scene. I almost fell out of my chair because it caught me off guard immediately. I'm just like, are they really? Yep, they're humping. And it's just, I love the build up to it because, like I said, anime can tend to make things really like overly epic and hilarious. I love the way they panned in on that scene, like the just really, really hilarious. And this is one of the most genuinely funny anime that I've ever seen. So I have no negatives to say about this week's episode. Everything was good this week. The comedy, the animation, the awkwardness. It was all there in full force, so I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. But what do you guys think about this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you have any favorite funny moments or some moments you just couldn't watch? You can let me know with your comments below. And you guys know the drill. Before you leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the best ways to support our videos. And make sure and check out some of the other videos up top. Make sure and give those a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.